Hi, welcome back to the garden. Today is Saturday, June 25th, and you know what that means. We're going to do a quick review of this garden, then we're going to go to you and help celebrate what's going on in your garden. So I thought we'd stop here at the compost pile that I've been unable to turn with this bum leg. And we got sweet potatoes and a volunteer tomato growing. Look at that, we've got tomatoes set already. But I thought this would be a great place to get something to plant, since I made that rule. You got to plant something every time you visit the garden. And I've had several questions about sweet potato slips. And this is vining out really nicely, so we're just going to cut that. We're just going to clip that right there. Also about eating the leaves. I'm going to take two of them. I'm going to clip that one right there. Also going to show you the leaves are edible. I like the ends. It's the same thing as with the tomatoes. See all those fine hairs? Those will all turn into roots. It's warm enough this morning, just the time it took me to hobble over here. Some of these leaves are already starting to wilt down a little bit. But that'll be alright. We just dig this mulch down a little bit, get down bare soil. Go ahead and stick that down in the ground. I'm leaving the leaves on it. Bury it up. Nice and moist underneath there. One of the good things about the deep mulch. Now that we've finished up with our mandatory planting, you're in for a real treat. If you're new to my channel, Saturdays are reserved for you and celebrating what's going on in your garden. But while we're here in the sweet potato patch, let's go take a look at the one thing that we really want to follow. Right here is the slip we pulled off of that giant sweet potato. We planted it with no roots, almost no leaves, and look where we're at now. But Saturdays really are reserved to celebrate what's going on in your garden, so let's take a look at a few. It looks like Bill has dodged the vine borers, and his one squash has taken over half his raised bed. His tomatoes are thriving on the other half. Bill, this is fantastic, thank you. Now for a bit of planting zone contrast, Iowa versus Florida. In Iowa, Fred's mother said, "Don't put your garden out until Memorial Day." Now towards the end of June, just look how good Fred's garden looks. The birds are also enjoying last year's gourds. We are looking forward to seeing your garden fill out this summer. Thank you for sharing, Fred. Contrast that with Florida. Bruce is succession planting for the third time. His harvest is coming in daily. Maylene had some time to make some goodies. Thank you, Bruce. This is a great example of two very successful gardeners and two very different growing zones. You can do this too. Don't get discouraged. No matter where you live, you can do this. Weren't those incredible? Now you can become part of this. This is just a loose-knit community of people that like to celebrate each other's gardens, get ideas, get inspiration. We all just like to get our hands dirty. Just email me at waylandsmalley5@gmail.com. The address is in the description box below. We'd all love to celebrate what's going on in your garden. Now if you remember these peppers, I pruned them back pretty good. This one's already big enough I had to start putting a stake on it. Bushing out very nicely. This one's bushing out very nicely. Got a ton of little flowers on here. We're going to be loaded in peppers here just shortly. So to prune or not to prune, it's going to be the age-old question. I like to prune. Let's go ahead and take a look at a few more. From the hills of North Carolina, Larry's strategy of combining containers with his in-ground garden is a good strategy and bearing fruit, pun intended. Larry, your garden is simply fantastic, and your harvest proves that out. Thank you. Loretta and Roger's contribution to this week's episode is epic. Their first harvest from their first garden. That is historic. Every one of us knows that picking that first fruit of the season never gets old. Thank you for letting us share this special event. Josh's landscape is great, but the arches between the raised beds, that is awesome. He's got potatoes and berries coming in strong.
We look forward to seeing the rest of your garden grow this summer. Thank you, Josh.
Looking at what our friends and neighbors are doing in their garden, you can't help but want to come out here and do the same. I'm not 100% sure whether or not the cedar chips have done any good, but I see a zucchini down in there. I see some more yellow squash coming on. There's more good growth than old growth. Well, let's go ahead and take a look at a few more.
Nora's creativity is excellent. Your suitcase raised bed idea? That is wonderful. Thank you for the great ideas, Nora. Keep them coming. Art found an odd tomato this morning in his deep mulch garden. Art, I'll bet that tastes like watermelon. Michelle also sent us a splash of color from her garden beds. Michelle, this is terrific. Thank you for bringing some color to this community. Rick wanted to update us on the raised beds he tends at his church's food bank garden. Those folks are blessed to have you on their team, Rick. You are touching more lives than you know. This is inspiring. Thank you for sharing that with us. Valerie not only shares her tips and ideas with this community, she uses her raised beds as hope in her ministry to the folks adjusting to society. Even though Texas is hot right now, your garden looks amazing, and so does your harvest. Simply blessed. Thank you.
Now this is what I was waiting to see. Aren't our friends and neighbors amazing? Just a hint of tart, and then just a blast of sweet. You gotta love blackberries. That's why we do it, because it tastes awesome. I mean, who can't resist that right off the vine? Let's go take a look at a few more.
Mike and Linda sent in before and after photos of the sweet potato patch that the deer thought was awesome. They're using layered fencing. The outside is fishing line that will break but the deer can't see. A semi-solid inner that the deer would have to jump over. The line stops any momentum and makes the deer double think without hurting them. So far, a great success. Thank you for that great idea. We've been watching Denise's multi-container, swimming pool, bucket, raised bed garden grow since the winter. The harvest should start coming in fast and in large quantities soon enough. Thank you for this awesome update. Everything is looking great. Jennifer just moved to a new location and is starting a deep mulch no-till garden all over again. The first year is the hardest while the soil is coming alive. Thank you, Jennifer, for allowing us to be there at the start. Walter wanted us to take a look inside his tomato garden. They're producing nicely. You even got some red ones. That owl should keep the squirrels at bay. Your peppers are doing amazing. Great update, Walter. Thank you, sir.
Am I right or am I right? You guys are awesome. Gives me the motivation to come out here with a broken leg and still try to get something for dinner. Please leave a comment down below and let everybody know you are celebrating what's going on in their garden. Please hit the like button. It does help the algorithm. If you subscribe and share, it also helps this channel grow. Let's take a look at a couple more.
Chrissy had to wait for her weather to warm up before starting her lotus, but now she has 2 leaves. Wait, that is 3 leaves as of this morning. Michael's seeds just started to bloom as of this morning. Walter's second go at seeds are coming along nicely. His rhizomes are doing great. My rhizomes might actually bloom. And Scott sent us a double just to keep us motivated. And the Lotus adventure continues.
Remember, you can do this too. We sure hope you join us. Let us celebrate what's going on in your garden. But I do want to thank you for stopping by. Remember, until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your family. God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.